Hi, it's Julian Mellor from propergolfing.com. In this video I'm going to show you how easy it is to get out of bunkers. So many golfers struggle with this shot, and yet with the right technique it's actually really quite an easy shot. Now, just before I get into this video, if you're interested in really improving your golf game and you want to do it in a structured way, you should be signing up to propergolfing.com. In there I've got hundreds of videos in the library section that will help you fully understand what it is that you need to do to really improve. You'll also get monthly coaching sessions with myself as part of your membership, and you'll also get a weekly Zoom invite where we have golfers from all over the world join us and we talk about all things golf. They're absolutely brilliant. Members are loving it. They're getting a lot of value from it. So if you are serious about your golf game, sign up to propergolfing.com. Now, what I want to do to start off with is I want to show you how to make bunker shots really difficult, and it actually comes back to the way that the sand technique has been taught. So it was taught very much to open the club face, to aim left and to hit across the shot. Now, the reason that was played is we have to think back to hickory golf clubs. So there was a club in the bag that had a number 9 stamped on it, and that club was actually the putter. It was the 9th club in the golf bag. So if we're thinking of the equivalent loft, it used to be like an 8-iron. So what they used to have to do in the bunkers is they used to have to open the club face up, because it was only had an 8-iron loft on it, and they had to open the stance. And what they used to be able to do is use the back of the club to bounce it out of the sand. Now, apparently in 1928 a guy called Edward McLean invented the sand wedge. I think it was commonly known that Gene Sarazen did it, but it's actually earlier than that. In 1928 they invented a proper sand wedge, but unfortunately what happened, nobody changed the technique. So the cool thing is about the modern sand wedges, all the good stuff's built into the golf club, what's called the bounce, and we've got the correct loft on it. So what I want to do now is show you exactly how you should be playing bunker shots, so you can get them out every time. Now what I'll do to start off with is I've got a couple of alignment rods in here, and I've just drawn a couple of lines in the sand, and hopefully what you'll see from there is everything's nice and parallel to my ball to target line. So I'm just going to try and go to this flag here. So what most people do would aim left, open the club face up, which I'll show you from face on in a second, and then hit down and across the shot. And the issue that we see so many golfers do is they get it wrong when they thin it, it goes straight into the bank, or it flies right over the other side of the green, or you've got too much loft on the golf club and it ends up staying in the bunker. So all this old style of aiming left and hitting across it is disastrous. Avoid it like the plague if I was you. So let me just show you very simply how easy a bunker shot is, and then I'll go through the technique. So I'm just aiming towards this flag here. So that one's just popped out really easy. Now hopefully what you can see from there is my divot, or where I've entered the sand, was nice and level rather than across the line. Now the importance of that is we want the ball to, when it's in the air, we want it to be spinning straight. We don't want it spinning sideways, because if it's spinning sideways it's really difficult to hole a sand shot. Now let me just go through the technique. So let's keep this as simple as possible, and I'll show you from the side first, and then in a second I'm going to show you from face on, so you'll really understand this. So my golf club points towards my target. I've got 58 degrees of loft on this golf club. I don't need any more. I don't need to open the club face for a standard golf shot. So my leading edge of my club now is facing the target. I'm going to put the club in the sand just for the purpose of this video. I know you can't do that when we're actually playing. Now the golf club is positioned in the middle of my feet, and the golf ball is positioned a golf ball further forward than the center. Now the really important thing is at setup, make sure that you're holding the club nice and level. Don't push your hands forward, whatever you do. If you do that, you're starting to alter the loft on the golf club. So when it was built in the factory, it was built lovely and straight. Let's use that clever design. So make sure that we're setting up with the shaft of the club really straight. And what we're going to do to help get this golf ball out of the sand is we're going to use gravity. What goes up must come down. So if we have a nice steep backswing, it's really easy to hit sand. So if this is really steep, it'll hit sand every time. But if I swing flat, I'll miss the sand. And that's when you hit the middle of the ball and it either flies into the face of the bunker or flies over the green out of bounds. So we want the club to go up, down, but critically now, watch the follow through. Let's clean my golf club. So everything's nice and square. So I'm using my wrists to make the club go up. I release it, so the release is bringing it back to where it was when it started. But then watch the follow through. Up, down, through. Can you see how my club's finished all the way over my shoulder? If you want to leave the golf ball in the bunker every time, do this. The times I see this is staggering. Up and stop. If you stop, there's no speed in the golf club, that golf ball is never coming out of the bunker. You may get very, very lucky and get one out, but consistently you'll never do that. So what I'll do now is I'll just show you this technique from face on so you can see ball position, width of stance, and make sure that you can see the full follow through. So showing you this from face on, I've put another alignment rod in here just to show you where I'm going to position the ball in relationship to my stance, and also how to make sure that you're getting the shaft correct at address. Really, really important. So the middle of my stance is where I want the club to be, but we don't want to actually hit the ball. It's the only shot in golf where we're desperately not trying to hit the ball. We want to hit at least a golf ball's width behind the ball. So what I'm going to do now is position the ball slightly forward of center, but the club still sits in the middle of my stance. It's really important that we do this. Now the other thing to really avoid is shoving the hands forward, because this is going to alter the swing path and it's going to alter your club face when we actually make contact with the ball. So really important, if you can get the shaft of the club nice and straight and not angled, really going to help with this shot. So make sure you dig your feet in. Couple of reasons why. First off, sand is unstable, so it gives you stability. Second off, it gives you a chance to check how deep the sand is. So in this case, it's actually quite wet here today, so the sand is quite heavy and sticky, but it just gives me a chance to see how the sand's going to play. Width of stance, I like almost shoulder width apart, so I wouldn't really like you to have a stance that's too narrow in a bunker. So the golf club sits in the middle of my stance, but the ball is positioned slightly forward of that. In the backswing now, we're going to use your wrist quite quickly to make the club go upwards. The body will naturally have a little turn in it, and there will be a fraction of weight transfer, so you don't have to stick all your weight on your left leg to do this, or on your lead leg to play this shot. It's not a necessity. Okay, so we're going to make the club go up. The next thing that's really important from here is we release. So we're not just going up and then holding the angle. It's really important now that we release that loft to the base of just before the golf ball, and then the critical thing then is to follow it through. So nice and easy, so everything feels set up correctly. Up, down, through. That one actually just slipped out, and I'm not kidding, that was unbelievable. What's lovely about this is when the golf ball lands, because of the way that we're playing it, it rolls true, so it'll actually roll towards your target. Whereas if you do that wrong style and open your stance and hit across it, it puts loads of side spin on it, so when it lands it spins sideways. You don't know where to land it to try and get it in the hole. So it's not just a case of getting it out of the bunker, can we actually get it into the hole? So let's just show you this one more time. Everything's set up nice and square. Ball position feels good, shaft feels good. Use the wrists in the backswing, up, release, follow it through, and there we are, out every single time. So if you're struggling in sand, make sure that you follow this technique. It works an absolute treat. In fact, one of the guys who's a member of Proper Golfing said it's an absolute miracle. It sometimes feels like a miracle, but once you get used to it, it's just so easy to play it. So avoid those mistakes like a lot of people have been taught. It's not the right way to do it. Use the design of your sand wedge correctly, use the wrist correctly, make sure you follow through, and you'll be super successful out of bunkers. They're not to be feared anymore. In fact, quite a lot of tour pros aim at them if it's a difficult shot rather than aiming into trouble. So with the right technique, bunker shots are really easy. Now I hope you found this video helpful, and if you are serious about your golf game and you really want to take it to the next level, sign up to propergolfing.com. It'd be a pleasure to help you with your golf game, and it'd be great to have you as a member. Thanks for watching, take care, bye.